All right, Dr. Debinga, Liz Cheney is back in the news.
Yes.
She is telling students at Duke University the choice is clear for her. She doesn't have to equivocate, think about it, or reflect on it too long because she knows she is voting for Kamala Harris. This is huge. We got a lot of big stories today. This is another big
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
because a
Yeah.
lot of Republicans will say, I'm not voting for Donald Trump. But to
Mm-hmm.
go that next step and say, not only am I not voting for him, I'm voting for the Democrat, and I'm telling other people that I'm voting for the Democrat. That just goes to show where we are in this moment.
Yeah. I mean, her, Judge Ludig, people like that. Like, I was really wondering whether Liz Cheney was actually going to come out and actually do that. I thought that people were going to say, she's done enough. She said she's going to do everything to make sure Trump can't win. She, the commission, she lost, she gave up her political seat, the fight for democracy, and that people were like, it's enough. But and I was like, yo, but the final stretch has to be, if you're all in to save democracy, you got to vote for the person who's going to save democracy. And so for her to do that and say that, I mean, lots of props, lots of respect for her to go that far. But again, I appreciate the fact that people like her and Judge Ludig and others have given these Republicans a permission structure to allow them to cross the aisle. Like one of them said at the convention, voting for Kamala Harris doesn't make you a Democrat, it makes you a patriot. And that's what we need right now. We need all hands on deck. And like I said, after this election, they can start to figure out how to salvage the Republican Party, gather the Michael Steeles of the world who stayed in the party, never left it, figure it out. But right now, all hands on deck to save this democratic process. And I've given her a lot of props for what she's done already. But this is the final step that we all need to take, and she's doing it.
Yeah, we are seeing some profiles in courage. We often talk about that and talk about those Republicans, but this lady gave it up. She gave up everything. When she was on that commission investigating January 6th, drilling the only Republican, mind you, drilling those involved, calling out Donald Trump and his role in that. She knew that she would not get through one of these tough primaries that I'm talking about. But she also knew she had a bright future. She knew that there would be lots of people who would, still value her as, a former elected official, congresswoman who have been instrumental in exposing the January 6th insurrection and exposing Trump's role in it. And I think, we got a lot of folks that are going to go down in history as cowards. Folks like Lindsey Graham, who continue to stand by Donald Trump, who continue to, try to persuade him to stick to the points and not make personal attacks as if he's capable of doing that.
Right.
We know that he's not. Tim Scott. I mean, the list just goes on and on. But there are a couple of these Republicans who, this is Dick Cheney's daughter. You don't get no
That's what I'm saying.
Family, right?
Yep.
They're hardcore Republicans through and through. So this is a huge.
Shoot, maybe Dick Cheney will come out.
Well, I've been seeing this social media post that's talking to Republicans saying, to Republican white women saying, your husband doesn't have to know who you vote for. So telling people you don't have to be public. Put the sign in your yard. Do whatever it is that you think your neighbors may want to see or may want you to do. But you can quietly protest and quietly not vote to have a man who literally, September 18th, this other judge, a merchant in this state court, is going to have to decide what to do with Donald Trump.
Yep.
Do I sentence him now, knowing that there will be those who will say this is all a political witch hunt? Does he delay it to after the election, knowing that special treatment that no other defendant that's been convicted of 34 felony counts would get? So, he places everybody that he comes into contact with in such a conundrum. We don't know what that judge is going to do, but we know he's going to have to make some decision. We know Judge Chuckin in that federal case is going to have to make some decision. But all of these decisions just remind us, Doc, that Trump is such a chaos, agent that having him back in the White House is almost hard to believe what that would look like.
Yeah, it's scary. And, this Arlington Cemetery incident was a reminder that wherever he goes, him and his followers, violence can follow or has the potential to follow. And he is a chaos candidate, and every single thing he does it burns to the ground. That's his mindset. That's what he wants to do. That's what he's going to do to this country. A man who's acquired more debt under his presidency than like presidents over like the last 20 or 24 years combined. There is nothing about this man that suggests he wants to build America for everybody. He doesn't believe in service. He doesn't believe in the military. He doesn't believe in immigration. He doesn't believe in anything. And all he's running for right now is to stay out of prison. That is his goal, and he'll do anything to make that happen.
Including, I'm glad you bring that Arlington Cemetery matter up, because John McCain's son has come out. You know, it's been such backlash by veterans and families of veterans about how he just disgraces everything that he touches. He doesn't care. It was a photo op. They come out of the cemetery, that sacred part where they should not have been allowed to have photos. He attacks the worker, the government worker. One of his staff members says she was having a mental breakdown. I mean, they just, the violence against her, causing the government. One thing about Donald Trump is very clear: he doesn't love America. And I'm so glad that Kamala Harris and the Harris-Walz team has redefined what it means to be a patriot, and not running away from America. Like, we own a stake in this country as well, and he doesn't get to just wrap himself in the flag.
That's
be
right.
the only person that's gets to define patriotism. So that was what was so beautiful about the DNC, was all of that focus and effort and language and imagery on patriotism that would have otherwise been the sole purview of the Republicans.
That's right.
Not so in this DNC. Just real quickly before I let you go, what are you hoping? Like, give me 2 words. What are you hoping to see Kamala Harris do next week in that debate?
Destroy him.
Okay.
I take it to him. That's what I want to see. Prosecute that man for real.
Yeah, it's gonna be such an interesting debate. Well, everybody will be glued to it. It's probably gonna have some of the highest ratings ever for a presidential debate, and we have no doubt that Kamala Harris will prevail. I'm gonna have you back, obviously, after those debates to do our post-debate breakdown. But thank you so much, Dr. DeBing. Always a pleasure to be in conversation with you.
Thank you.
When we come forward, we're gonna be talking about black males who are on the pulse, have their fingers on the pulse of black male voting. Stay with us, KBLA Talk 15.